All right, good morning and thanks for joining us in our second of our four-part series, the Optimize for Tomorrow WMS webinar series. Today we will be focusing on slashing shipping costs and drop shipping with ease. Our presenter will be Jackson Bilbrey. We had an event a couple weeks ago on driving process improvements with key performance indicators. You can catch that online at accellos.com/optimizefortomorrow, as well as register for our two upcoming events, Benefits of Cloud WMS, next Wednesday, August 20th, and the Business Case for ROI, which is 2 weeks from today on August 27th. Today we will be, Jackson Bilbrey will be presenting. Jackson joined Accellos in 2010 as a product manager for AccellosOne Ship, and he's worked his way into the role of AccellosOne Essentials product manager, and that includes product management of our document imaging, inspection, business intelligence, scheduling, and shipping products. Prior to joining Accellos, Jackson was with a wholesale distribution company, designing and managing the deployment of warehouse management, shipping, and automated equipment handling systems for their warehouses across North America. Jackson's got some good stuff prepared for us today on drop shipping and the benefits of utilizing shipping software to cut costs. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Jackson Bilbrey.
Hey, good morning, everyone, and thanks for the introduction, Nick. As Nick said, we're going to continue our Optimizing for Tomorrow WMS webinar series, and today we're going to cover some slashing shipping costs and drop shipping with ease, and we're going to show a series of products to accomplish this. So we'll be looking at AccellosOne WMS, the platform, and Ship today. So first, I kind of just wanted to set the stage a little bit and talk about today's shipping landscape and some of the key challenges that distributors face. We're constantly seeing rising costs. With 2014 brought with it an average rate increase of 3% from UPS, FedEx, and USPS. This isn't a new trend we're seeing. It's been happening for years, and we expect it to keep along the same path going into the future. So how do we combat those rising costs of rates and fuel surcharges and accessorial charges, as well as things like labor? And then you couple this with customers' expectations. Amazon has changed the entire experience that a customer expects, and that's what the customer expects not only from a big box guy like Amazon, but also from our smaller distributors. In a recent survey, 77% of people responding to the survey said that free shipping is more important than fast shipping. That is a change that the big box retailers like Amazon and Newegg and Zapatos have brought to the market, and what we have to live up to, as well as continued visibility. They've also set a customer expectation that visibility from the time of order to the time of delivery is key. 80% of people that responded to that same survey responded that at some point within the order process, they tracked a package or tracked an order that they had ordered. So, we're looking at things, those are setting specific challenges that we have to face in the market today, where in the past a relationship with a single carrier may have been sufficient for your business. Today it's not. Today, we need to, while distributors are footing the bill for shipping to live up to these customer expectations of free shipping, we need to be able to shop across carriers, across services, as well as provide visibility to the customer. And then, these new pieces or these new challenges introduce operational bottlenecks. We have more touch points within the picking process, relabeling, repacking, we have the ability to mislabel shipments when relabeling. So we're going to look at some processes that will help us with reducing touch points and reducing places that we can make mistakes within the warehouse. And then with the vast success of e-commerce and growth, we're seeing a lot more of dropship programs implemented in many distributors. And with that, there's big box stores like Amazon, Target, and Home Depot. They have document and labeling requirements, customer compliance pieces. How do we manage that? How do we deal with multiple shipping accounts? We may have 3 or 4 customers that we have to manage UPS accounts, whether it be shipping on behalf of them or third-party billing. How do we manage all these accounts? So we're going to address some of those concerns today. First, I wanted to start with an introduction to AccellosOne Ship for people that might not know too much about it, as well as just kind of an overview of what you should think about when looking at a multi-carrier shipping system. So a multi-carrier shipping system is just that. Think of it today as, many of you probably have a UPS or a FedEx station, if not both, sitting in your warehouse or somewhere within your operation that you're interfacing today. The multi-carrier shipping system is going to provide you some of the same functionality, but you're going to have a single point to manage those accounts. What are some of the key features you should look for when shopping for a multi-carrier shipping system? One of the biggest features that a multi-carrier shipping system is going to bring to you is a single user interface. And AccellosOne Ship is no different than others on the market. The entire AccellosOne product line has been designed around a Microsoft Office-centric look and feel. This was by design. 80% of the workforce either uses Microsoft Office or has used Microsoft Office at some point. So we will reduce training time because things like navigation of the application are already familiar to users. We've taken that single user interface to another level with our product. Most multi-carrier shipping systems, while you have a single look and feel for all carriers that you're working with, it is a separate system from your WMS. Our system's built into the same platform as our WMS, so it's single sign-on. It reduces your cost of ownership via IT. You're managing a single sign-on for both your WMS and your Ship product. You can quickly navigate between different products, whether it be the WMS, Ship, Pulse, our business analytics product. It's all housed within the same container, so it's a single user interface, again, reducing training for onboarding people because the look and feel is identical across all products. The next thing you should be looking for is centralized data. All carrier information should be stored in one place and easily accessible to reporting. And what this will do is it allows you to more effectively manage both your shipping spend as well as your contract negotiations year over year. Today, you're probably used to one of your carrier reps coming in and presenting what you've shipped with them this year, and negotiations start. With AccellosOne Ship, we store all of your shipping information despite the carrier, so you can pull reports on your full spend over a year over all locations and negotiate based upon your entire spend instead of your spend with a certain carrier. And then carrier compliance I'm sorry, got a little ahead of myself. Rate shopping. Rate shopping is another key feature that you should be looking for. Not only the ability to process shipments from multiple carriers, but the ability to rate for the best price or time in transit across carriers or across services. And then carrier compliance should be taken care of for you via automatic delivery of rates and fuel surcharges to carrier-generated compliance labels. And then a couple of the other key features that we'll touch on today is integrated shipping and visibility. So with AccellosOne Ship, unlike a lot of the multi-carrier shipping systems on the market, AccellosOne Ship was designed with warehouse management and your picking process in mind. So we have a tightly coupled integration with the AccellosOne WMS, and that's both a data integration as well as a process integration. So with the data integration, we're gonna send over all your address information. So anybody you've ever shipped from within the WMS is automatically available within Ship. We're going to pass all your order information, so DIMs, weights, addresses, customer info, anything we might need to process a shipment, as well as shipment requirements, whether it be a third-party bill accounting number, certain accessorials, Saturday delivery, anything like that, as well as the time in which if there's a time that the package has to be delivered by, we'll pass that and make sure that we shop based upon that as well. And then we also extend our integration further than what most companies do, and we have black box shipping built into the WMS and Ship. And what we can do is integrate workflows. So as I go through this demo, I'll be talking about touch points within the WMS, and there's multiple of them where we can do things like pre-rate an order during allocation. We can pre-print labels at Wave so you can pick to carrier labels instead of a customer label or a big label, which will reduce touch points and relabeling at the end of the process. As well as we support all your standard automated shipping as far as end of line, whether it be you want to ship from a station, we can ship from a handheld, integrate the scales, and we'll go through some of that stuff. So let's go ahead and jump into the demo. So we're going to start our journey today in the platform, and a quick introduction to the platform for some people that may be using it today and some people that may not have seen it yet. This is the platform that I was talking about that gives us the common look and feel among all our applications. Where we're going to start today in our process is in the Order Work Center. The Order Work Center is basically the equivalent of what Web Dispatch used to be in your Classic. So here's where we're going to manage our allocation and waiving of orders. So the first thing that I wanted to show you guys is I'm going to show you just how easy it is to process an order with integrated shipping. I'm going to walk you through the process, and then what we're going to do is we're going to come back and see everything that was happening behind the scenes. So let me quickly filter down my orders here to some orders that I've set aside for the webinar. Okay, and what we can see is I have a group of orders here of 30 orders that are in various stages within the WMS. And what I'm going to do first is, we were talking about pre-rating. So this would be our first integrated touch point within the WMS. And what we can do at pre-rate is we can do a couple different things. One, you can see I have shop groups set up here. I have a next day group, a ground group, and a 2-day group. So we can actually, at the time of allocation, once product has been assigned to an order, we can reach out to the shipping system automatically and have it pass back who the cheapest carrier for that. In this case, my shop groups are set up for cheapest. It'll pass back who the cheapest carrier for that order is. But it can also do other things. If we have predetermined carriers and services passed to us from places like Amazon, Target, and Home Depot, what we can do is reach out and validate basic information to make sure the shipment's going to process. Is that carrier and service valid for the ship to address? Is the address correct? Certain things just to make sure that the shipment will process. So as well as shopping for a pre-rate, it's also just validating that it is a valid method to ship. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a couple of these orders. We're going to allocate some product to the orders. And at this point, what WMS is going to go out and do is it's going to go out, look for the product needed to fulfill these orders, and then once it's allocated that product, it's going to send some basic information over to Ship to get a pre-rate. So you can see that we've jumped into a waiting for pre-rate status, which may be a little different than you guys are used to today. So WMS has allocated inventory to the orders. We've determined how many boxes and how much weight that might be. We send it over to the shipping system, and the shipping system is going to pass back who it thinks the best carrier is and a estimated rate for those. So what you can see is all three of those orders have made it through the process, and we've assigned a shipper or a carrier and a service level to it. So now what we've done, now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and jump into our picking process. So my order's waived, I'm ready to go. My picker's grabbed a pick ticket. I'm going to jump into our handheld emulation that's pretty much the same as what your guys use on the floor today, maybe a little more graphical. I'm going to go ahead and re-log in here. I'm going to jump into picking and regular picking. So just like today, your guys are going to go through, they're going to scan the box they want to pick to. I'm going to go ahead and start picking, and I'm going to be directed down the pick path. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and pick just my normal process as you would today. And once my order is finished, this is where a new step comes in. Now, this could be if you have system weights all in there and all your DIMs and everything's great, you have all your data in line, what we could actually do is set up at last pick. It'll automatically reach out to the shipping system, rate that shipment, and process a label. What I'm going to show you today, though, is actually I'm going to take it to a packing station, and I'm going to put my dunnage in my box, and I'm going to weigh it. So at the same time, what I do, I'm over at my packing station now. I've finished picking my order. I'm going to go into a shipping function in the handheld. I'm going to use a function we call Carton Shipping. And Carton Shipping has the ability to both take a manual weight that I type in or be integrated to a scale. Today I'm just going to use manual weight. So I've packed my box, I put my dunnage in, I've taped it up, it's ready to have my shipping label applied to it. I'm going to go ahead and scan my label. And what it's going to do is ask me for the weight. I put my box on the scale, and the scale is telling me it's 6 pounds. So I go ahead and do that. At this point, WMS has reached out to the shipping system, asked the shipping system to manifest an order. And what we'll see in the background here is, if I refresh my grid, order 1130 has now moved from waived to waiting for reports. And if I highlight it here, you can see that I've passed back the carrier tracking information, and I've passed back costing information that'll be pushed back up to the ERP. So what we just did right there was completely integrate the shipping process into your picking. What you may have seen is we chose a carrier and a service based upon best cost. So we went out and looked at multiple carriers. We passed that back to the WMS. We picked our order and we shipped our order, and we never touched AccellosOne Ship at all. This is the power of true integrated shipping within our WMS. So what I want to do now, since I just showed you everything I just told you everything that happened and you didn't really see anything at all, let's go ahead and process a shipment manually, and I'll talk everybody through the points at which the WMS reached out to ship and this automated shipping process took place. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and open up our rating and shipping screen. This is, if you are using a manual ship station, this is the screen you'd be using. This screen can be used anywhere that Internet Explorer is available within your business. So you can process all of your warehouse-to-warehouse shipments or sample shipments or document to prospective buyers or anything that you might need. It'll all be processed using your rates through your shipping system. So let's go ahead and step back, and I'll walk you through what we just did from the ship side, from the WMS. So what I did is I took an order and I allocated it. The WMS grabbed some information, or grabbed some product and allocated it to an order. And what we said was we were picking something, and it was going to be 6 pounds for that box. So at that point, the WMS sent all the information over to ship and said, I want to know what the ground rates will be for this shipment. So it sent over a get rates command. So in the background, it sent over a shop group that was called shop G&D. Based upon a setting in ship, we know which carriers to go out and look for. And we pull back rates based upon all of those shipments, or based upon that set of information, and then pass back the carrier with the best rate in this case. In order to define those rate shop groups, we have another screen called rate shop groups. You can define as many groups as needed. They're completely user-defined. We can see the setup here on one of them. Today I have my shop ground shopping UPS, FedEx, and DHL. Say we remove DHL as a carrier. It's as simple as drag and drop, hit finish. The next time an order is sent to the ship system with shop G&D, we'll no longer look for a DHL ground price. So we've determined our pre-rate. We know we're going to send it FedEx. Ship sent the information back to WMS. We went through, we did our picking process, and then at the end of picking process, what we do is we update the information because, as we all know in distribution, we allocate based upon what's in the warehouse, and we may get to a bin, and the product that it's allocated to the order may not be in the bin or may be damaged. So we may pick a subset of what we've allocated. So we update the information at the time the shipping request is made. So we picked our full order and we went into Carton Shipping, and what we said is we've confirmed it. In this case, all of our information was the same. So the WMS is going to send a ready to ship and ship command in the background. At that point, we've asked the carrier to process the order. In this case, it's FedEx. We've got all the costing information and tracking info, and we sent that back to the WMS. So that's kind of that's the picture from both sides, and the ideal here is that the only side you ever see is the WMS side. Therefore, reducing bottlenecks within the warehouse, because now we can remove the shipping stations from the warehouse, where you may have, if you're using UPS and FedEx today, and each of them have provided you a system, and those systems are sitting at the end of the line, we get those out of the way. We also, through this process, through the multi-carrier shipping process, what we've done through these shop groups is we've removed what you would call the tribal knowledge or the swivel chair rate shopping. So, the tribal knowledge is traditionally, we've made up some number. Back when I was working with the wholesale distributor I was working with, it was 400 pounds. If an order was less than 400 pounds, we knew that UPS ground was the way to ship it. If it was over 400 pounds, LTL was the way to ship it. And these are just general rules of thumb that we make up to ease the burden, the labor burden of actually going to UPS, rating that order, then going out to an LTL carrier site and rating that order, and then going to our FedEx ship system and rating that order. With true multi-carrier shipping system, I can do all those without adding any labor to my process and get the results needed within seconds. So now that we've kind of seen how easy it is to integrate shipping and pick a single order, let's take one of the more complex processes that we were talking about earlier with big box shippers and drop shipping on their behalf. So today I just showed you how to pick an order that came in through my e-commerce website. But now it's tomorrow, and what I've done is I've actually started drop shipping on behalf of a big box shipper called HighJump. So how does this affect my process? Now not only do I need to process information on, or process my own orders, I need to process orders for HighJump, and they have a requirement that all their documentation goes out branded as though it was coming from them. And how does this affect my operation? Have I just added more complexity, more things for my pickers to know? What we're going to do is, you can see here I have a series of orders waived. And what I'm going to do is, customer 2 is a customer of my big box shipper HighJump that I'm going to drop ship on behalf of. And customer 1 is orders that have come through my e-commerce site. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a couple of these orders and do a batch pick and process, and show you how we would handle these needs in an automated fashion, reducing the need for extra complexity on your staff. So I'm going to go back to the handheld, and we're going to go back to the picking function that we were in earlier. And I'm going to go ahead and create myself a wave. I'm going to grab 3 orders here. So I've assembled my wave. I'm going to go ahead and start picking. Like normal, the WMS is going to go ahead and tell me the path to pick. I'm going to scan my item. It's going to tell me the carton I need to put it in. I'm going to go ahead and scan it into that carton. I'm going to pick my quantity. It's going to direct me to the next bin. In this case, it's the same bin, same product. I'm going to go ahead and pick that, and I'm going to pick the quantity. And then it's going to ask me, do I want to do another wave? And I'm going to say no. And now what I'm going to do is go to the shipping process that we used just a minute ago. And this should all look familiar because we're going to use the exact same process. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and process those 3 shipments now. Put my first box on the scale at 7 pounds. All right, we just shipped our first order. Put my second box on, it's going to tell me it's 9 pounds. Not sure what I did to that order. Go ahead and escape out of here. Oh. I knew how to go back on this. Sorry, guys. Let me reload the handheld here. I think I freaked it out. Go back to my Carton Shipping. Oh. And ship my last package. And this one's going to be 10 pounds. And what you've seen is I've quickly shipped 3 packages, all using the same process, despite whether they're from me or from my e-commerce site or my big box shipper, HighJump. But what we didn't see in the background is, while everything's exactly the same for our end users, what actually happened is when I processed that order for customer 1, the WMS sent some information over to our document or our reporting engine, and we printed a pack slip, and it has that it shipped from Accellos, and I have my address on it and all the information needed. And we reached out to Ship, and we asked for a label, and we got the label we would expect with our ship from information for the return address and the correct name, ship from name, and everything on it. But at the same time, when we processed customer 2's, that was our big box retailer that expected all their documentation to be branded properly for them, what the WMS did is it sent out a request based upon customer number and order number, and requested a different pack slip that was branded as High Jump, and replaced all of the ship from information as one of High Jump's facilities in Utah. And as expected, our shipping label, our carrier compliant shipping label, the same thing happened behind the scenes. We reached out to Ship, and instead of using our ship from location that we're actually at, we passed information. We rated the shipment based upon where it was coming out, but used an alternative return address, so everything's branded as our big box shipper. So this all happened behind the scenes. We did no added steps in our process when picking. So let's quickly take a look at how we did that. What we did is we leveraged a couple of tools within the WMS platform and Ship. So within our WMS, whenever we look at order information, we have some key pieces of information, one being the order number in this case, and another being the customer number. So what we did is when we reached out to report, our reporting engine, we reached out and we passed two parameters. We passed a parameter for the pack slip and a parameter from for the customer. And bear with me for a second, guys. I have a lot of products loaded, so it's loading a couple hundred reports here. And I'm going to look for my pack slip report. And in this case, what you'll see is I have a report called pack slip that the WMS reaches out to and requests based upon users. And then you can see down here I have some reporting instances. So when I passed the information for the first order with customer number 001, I reached out for my standard pack slip because it was from my e-commerce site, and I produced all the correct documentation. And then when I processed customer 2 and reached out for that same report, we knew that we needed, based upon customer number, to print out a different instance of that report. We can have as many instances of this report, so if you're shipping for yourself, for High Jump, for Amazon, Target, whoever it may be, you can have as many instances of this report and call the proper report based upon pack slip and customer number. We pass those same two pieces of information to Ship when requesting shipping information, and we produce the label based upon the alternative information if need be, based upon that customer number. So as you can see, we've effectively put in a drop shipping method, a drop shipping process within our warehouse, and added no extra label or extra labor or knowledge to the pick process. So now that we've processed some shipments, let's go ahead and hop into our shipping system. So the first screen I want to show you guys is our Shipment Work Center. We take a little different approach than some systems to how we display the information that you'll be looking at. What you're probably used to in WorldShip or Ship Manager, or one of the free packages that the carrier delivers you, is a shipping history screen. Our Shipment Work Center is a little different. What it does is it's a complete look at your shipping operation as it stands today. So we'll see shipments that are completed, shipments that are in progress, shipments that we voided, all in a single screen. This gives us the ability to quickly find any shipment we're looking for or get a general sense of where we stand for the day. What we can see is the shipments that we've processed today from our couple different carriers, as well as different shippers or locations. Just like the WMS or any other product that's built in the platform, we have the ability to look up information quickly. So let's say that I know from location A1 I'm having trouble with UPS, and I have my UPS rep coming in to talk to me. I can quickly find all shipments that have been processed from location A1 by UPS, and then I can export those to an Excel spreadsheet so that when my rep shows up, I have all the information I need in order to talk to him about what's going on. This also gives us the ability, like I said earlier, if we want to, if we're going into negotiations, and what I want to do is I know my FedEx rep is coming out to renegotiate, and what I specifically want to talk to him about is ground shipments. I can quickly pull up all my ground shipments, whether they be UPS or FedEx. I can filter that data. I can filter that data down to what I need so that he doesn't know if they're FedEx or UPS. But again, I'm going to the table with with all the information around my ground shipments from an entire spend perspective, whether it be UPS, FedEx, DHL, USPS, whether it be from my South Carolina facility or my California facility. I'm able to go and negotiate based upon all the information instead of a subset of that information. And the added benefit of having all of the information in a single place is, as some of you may be aware with the free solutions that carriers provide to you, data is purged on a regular basis. I believe the settings today are 90 and 180 days respectively to the carrier systems. Ship allows you to store data as long as you need, which gives you the ability, which gives you a different set of visibility. We were talking about visibility as one of the key obstacles that companies face today, and that's visibility both internally and externally. The Shipment Work Center is one way to visualize those orders, but since we store all of our data in a SQL database, it's available to Pulse, our business analytics product, and we have all of that. We have a standard KPI set that when you buy the Pulse adapter for that, you get, and we can look at things like today's shipments, so we can go ahead and see what our shipment costs were, or how many shipments we've processed per status, what the per location, you know, total shipments by location, total completed shipments by location, shipments completed by carrier. We can quickly get to that information, and we can drill into any piece of that information and see what's driving our 27 completed orders. And again, like everywhere else within our platform, this is easily exportable to Excel for further manipulation if we need to. But where it becomes important to keep your historic data is, you know, I'm looking at a view of today, but what's happened over the last 5 months? What's happened year over year? How is my shipping spend changing? Since we keep all of the data, we can go back and we can look at things like, what are my historical shipment fees? What do they look like month over month? Where am I spending my money? Was fuel more in one month than another month? Was fuel more in 2014 than it was in 2013? We have the ability to key in on these pieces of information that help you drive down the cost, and again help you negotiate with carriers come your 2015 negotiations. So I've showed you one level of visibility is these KPIs. think of these KPIs as certain pieces of information that I know I need and I've keyed into them. But another key piece of data being available to you quickly is ad hoc reporting or pivoting. So let's say I want to look at my shipments and costs over and costing information, but I don't know exactly what I'm looking for within that shipment or costing information. What I need to know, I just need to be able to take this data and move it around a little bit and decide exactly what I'm looking for. So you can see here I have a pivot that I've saved that is it's split up by my week and my zip code that I'm sending to, and it's a sum of my total estimated shipping costs. But let's say that, that isn't really quite what I was looking for. Really what I wanted to know was my ship to state. I wanted to know what my fuel surcharge I was paying was. And sorry about that, a little delay. And I don't really want to know week and zip. What I want to know is what it was by my month and my month, or my year and my month. So we'll go ahead and add year to the pivot and month to the pivot.
Jackson, we've got a question here from Trevor. Okay. Trevor, is your line open?
Hello?
If it does open up, oh, there you go.
Hello?
Hello. Yeah, we got you.
Oh, okay. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to explain to my boss that you guys are going. I didn't mean to interrupt. I was hoping just to get the questions in, so I didn't know if you would answer them after the webinar was over. We're obviously very interested, have signed up for all the webinars, but my question is the AccellosOne Ship, is it a part of the complete WMS package that we would purchase from you, or would this be something that's separate that integrates with WMS?
So with all of our essential modules, they're built within the same framework and the same technology. So think of them more as a module than a separate program. They're built to stand alone if need be, but they're also built with the entire package in mind. So it's really when you purchase the shipping module, you get AccellosOne Ship. It's delivered in the same container. It's just another menu item on the menu, and it really feels and operates as a single application.
Okay, great. Sorry again for interrupting, guys. Didn't mean to do that.
No, it was a great question.
And so again, anyone else that has more general questions, we will address. We've got a list of questions that have been coming in, so we'll address all those at the end of the webinar as well. Yep.
Thanks, Nick. So again, I can take this information that I need, maybe for carrier negotiation, maybe for a ship manager is looking for information how we're spending. I can quickly slice and dice the data how I need it until it's in the proper format. And again, like everywhere else, I can export it to Excel. I have the ability to look at the data in a chart view. This is a bit of an eye chart, but you guys get the general feel, as well as I can see the data that's driving this pivot. So we've been concentrating on reporting and visibility from within the organization, but how do we extend that visibility to our customers? We have a full alerting engine built into the platform, and one of the things that I didn't bring up was when we processed out those shipments, I was automatically getting shipping notifications delivered to me for each shipment that we shipped. Straight out of the box, Ship comes with a shipping notification that'll send upon shipment processed, and will send out to the customer. Now this is our generic boilerplate, but again, via the tools you can tailor the system so that my customers can get one ship notification and I can easily set up a second instance of that ship notification, put a filter on it that says when a certain here, I'll just create a new one real quick. When a certain set of data is met, then send out another one. So I'll go down to ship real quick. I'll look in my shipments. I have a template here that I use. I'll drag that out and it will walk me through a wizard. And I can basically just come in here, select, find my customer number, pull the customer number over here and say when customer number 1234, I actually want this email template to go out. It's an entirely different template. It has the high jump logo, you know, a couple different things, change the wording, and those are all sent out automatically based upon customer number again. So yet another way that you can tailor the system to meet customer expectations, to meet client expectations without adding to the process in your warehouse. The entire look and feel should be the same for your users out on the floor while delivering entirely customizable experience to your customers. So that brings us to the end of the demo piece of this webinar, and what I wanted to do is just a quick summary and make sure that we realize the things that we saw in the webinar. You know, the first thing, leveraging AccellosOne Ship multi-carrier engine, we were able to automatically shop different services and carriers based upon business rules. There was no interaction needed in order to accomplish that. There was no tribal knowledge. There was no knowledge we needed to pass on to our next shipper or picker. With leveraging the integration, we saw how we could reduce equipment and repurpose labor. So really there is no need for a shipping station except for exception handling, or perhaps certain LTL or international shipments that you have to key in a little extra information that isn't passed from the WMS. And what we can do is we can move those guys that are today sitting at the UPS and FedEx terminals and repurpose them into more pickers, receivers, cycle counters, replenishment, tasks that are actually, you know, improving our throughput as opposed to processing shipments. And then the last thing is, through a combination of the AccellosOne platform, WMS, and Ship, you saw how we could establish an effective drop shipping program without adding labor to our guys, basically leveraging our system to automate those things that we need done for certain customers, for big box carriers like Amazon or Target or Home Depot. And at this point, Nick, I think we are ready to go ahead and open for some questions.
Okay, cool. I've got a few of them here. If anyone else wants to add anything additionally, you can just go ahead and put that into the chat box, or just click that you have a question and I can open up your line and you can ask it in person too. First question that we have is, if we negotiated rates with parcel carriers like FedEx and UPS, can AccellosOne Ship take those discounts into account?
It does, and actually we can take it even a step further than that. When you think about the shipping market as it is today, you may have negotiated those rates and want to use those for yourself, but you may also be working from an account from somebody like Amazon. They're sending you third-party bill. We also take into account the discounts that are associated with that. If you're doing blind shipping using their UPS, so you have their UPS account, your UPS account, you can have two different sets of negotiated rates based upon what account it is, and Ship will take all that into account automatically. Great.
Second one here is, would A1 Ship replace my existing UPS FedEx terminals? We use two separate systems to process orders depending on the carrier.
Yep, you would absolutely be processing them through a single ship station, and in fact, if you went with the integrated method, you wouldn't be using a ShipStation at all. It'd all be through automated calls to a single station, and all that information would be stored in a single database.
Okay. Another question here, is there a way to get real-time freight rate update?
So make sure I understand the question. Are we talking about rates that are being updated to the published rates, or are we talking about tendering rates for LTL? Basically, I have 4 pallets, I'm sending it out, and I want carriers to bid on that freight.
I believe it's the latter.
Okay, so today, Ship does not support freight tendering. However, we do have a product called Cloud TMS that does do that. What we do is we just look at the LTL functionality within Ship is to look at published rates and apply discounts. So it's mainly for shipper-centric LTL use.
Okay. And then we have a question here. What is the daily or weekly, roughly, shipping volume for this type of a system would make sense?
So we offer two versions of Ship. We offer what we call the Express version that reaches out to the APIs on the internet, and that's our version that's both compatible on-premise and in the cloud. We have customers today that are processing a couple thousand shipments a day. They tend to be our smaller customers, and then we have our full, which is an on-prem or a private cloud solution that has a tier 1 rating engine behind it. So they have customers that are processing millions of orders a day. Our highest customer is probably today processing somewhere between 5,000 and 6,000 packages an hour.
Okay. And then the last question is just how does A1 Ship differ from Clipper Ship or some of the other shipping systems?
So the main differences would be it's 2 different focuses really. Clipper Ship or a Star Ship or an Info Ship, they're designed to be a standalone shipping system first, and then write a non-standard integration into a WMS, so you're processing from a ShipStation. They typically have a few more features from the shipping perspective than AccellosOne Ship, but the difference or the benefit with AccellosOne Ship is it's designed to be an automated shipping system that's totally integrated into your WMS first. So we've reduced touch points, labor savings. We do all of the stuff behind the scenes through a standard integration that we have, I believe, 60 customers running today. So instead of a one-off customization to your WMS that you would get through a Clipper Ship or an Info Ship or somebody like that, you're running a standard integration that we commit development resources to and maintenance to.
Great. All right, well, it looks like that's about it for the questions. If anyone has anything else, again, just pop it into the chat box and we will address it. Otherwise, thank you, Jackson, for the presentation. It was very informative.